Justin Baldoni has just sued Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Now, Patriots, for how much? How much, Sam? How much? $400 million. Million? Yes, $400 million.
Weeks after Blake Lively sued Justin Baldoni, the It Ends With Us director Justin Baldoni issued a counter lawsuit against Blake Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and publicist Leslie Sloan for $400 million. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's legal battle just got even more intense. The director has filed a $400 million countersuit against his It Ends With Us co-star on January 16th, as well as her husband Ryan Reynolds and publicist Leslie Sloan, nearly a month after she sued him for allegedly sexually harassing her on the set of the 2024 movie. In Baldoni's latest filing, submitted to the Southern District of New York Court and obtained by E! Justin Baldoni alleges that Blake Lively was determined to make him the real-life villain of her story and falsified stories of his sexual harassment, noting that Blake Lively's tarnished reputation following the release of It Ends With Us was of her own making and not a smear campaign, as her own lawsuit alleged. Though Lively claimed Baldoni was the one smearing her, the reality is that it was Lively and her team who carefully planned and implemented a vile smear campaign against Baldoni and Wayfarer to deflect attention and blame for Lively's disastrous misjudgments. The lawsuit alleges, saying that a smear campaign stemmed from Baldoni and Wayfarer's refusal to publish a public apology to Reynolds and Lively. The lawsuit continues that Lively, working with her husband, her publicist, and Jones, among others, set out on a campaign to tar and feather plaintiffs in the press. The lawsuit added that they conspired and worked in concert with the New York Times to put out a blockbuster news report as devastating as it was false. Baldoni's suit further alleges that Lively set out to destroy plaintiffs' livelihoods and businesses if they did not bend to her incessant demands, and when they refused to give away, she did exactly that, accusing them of foul and reprehensive sexual misconduct. Elsewhere in the lawsuit, Baldoni alleged that Lively had a reputation of being difficult to work with and almost immediately began inserting herself into the production process in intrusive ways, well beyond the scope of her contractual entitlements. This included examples of Lively's control over her character's wardrobe and rewriting scripts. Further, Baldoni also alleged that Lively had refused to read Colin Hoover's texts as well as meet with domestic violence partner organization No More, which caused her tone-deaf press tour for It Ends With Us. In a statement to E! Baldoni's lawyer Brian Friedman claimed that Lively was either severely misled by her team or intentionally and knowingly misrepresented the truth. He added that it is clear based on our own all-out willingness to provide all complete text messages, emails, video footage, and other documentary evidence that was shared between the parties in real time that this is a battle she will not win and will certainly regret. E! has reached out to Lively's attorney for a comment on Baldoni's lawsuit against her, but she has not yet replied. Baldoni's recent suit marks the latest in several legal filings made in connection to Lively and Baldoni's dispute. The rift was confirmed December 20th, following months of rumors of tension between them, when Blake Lively submitted a complaint about him, nearly identical to her former lawsuit to the California Civil Rights Department. Through his lawyer, Baldoni denied the allegations Lively had made in her filings against him. They include accusations that he improvised gratuitous sexual content and or scenes involving nudity into It Ends With Us without her consent, intrusively asking her a question about her sex life with Reynolds, and entering her makeup trailer invited while she was undressed, including when she was breastfeeding her baby. The New York Times was the first to report about her original administrative complaints on December 31st, the same day she filed her subsequent formal lawsuit against Baldoni. He filed a $250 million libel lawsuit against the newspaper. In that particular filing, Baldoni alleged that the New York Times, which cited in its coverage private text exchanges about the actress between him and PR reps, relied on cherry-picked and altered communications, stripped of necessary context and deliberately spliced to mislead, arguing that the newspaper's allegations were false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious. The New York Times had said in a statement that their story was meticulously and responsibly reported, and that they planned to vigorously defend against Baldoni's lawsuit. Lively's attorney previously told E! News that nothing in his libel suit changes anything about the claims advanced in her California Civil Rights Department complaint, nor her federal complaint. In the wake of the ongoing legal dispute between the two, Baldoni's career has also been brought into the spotlight. Soon after Lively filed her first legal complaint, their once mutual talent agency, WME, dropped him as a client. In his lawsuit against the New York Times, he alleged that at the premiere for the Deadpool and Wolverine last July, Reynolds approached the director's agents and demanded he drop Baldoni. But WME denied this. Baldoni's former representative was not at the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere, the agency said to The Hollywood Reporter in a January 1st statement, adding that nor was there any pressure from Reynolds or Lively at any time to drop Baldoni as a client. For Reynolds' part, he has not yet addressed the allegation.
Justin Baldoni files a new lawsuit against Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and her publicist, and he even calls out Taylor Swift in this new lawsuit. Justin and his production company, Wafer Studio, just filed a massive lawsuit against Blake, Ryan, Leslie Sloan, her publicist. According to the documents, Blake was determined to make Baldoni the real-life villain in her story to deflect from getting publicly trashed as tone-deaf during the film's media tour. Justin brings up how she was promoting her hair care and alcohol line while promoting a film about DV. In the suit, he says that the war between him and Blake actually started back in May of 2023 when they started shooting the movie. He claims she organized a takeover strategy as they battled for creative control. Justin also calls out Blake's bestie Taylor Swift and her husband Ryan Reynolds for getting involved in the writing of the script. Justin says that they had a meeting at Blake and Ryan's New York City penthouse about the rewrite, but he now feels like it was more of an ambush. Justin says that Ryan was there from the start, singing the praises of Blake's rewrite, and then hours later, Taylor popped in with her 2 cents, also applauding Blake's version of the scene. In the suit, Justin said he understood the subtext he needed to comply with Lively's direction for the script, so he later texted Blake to say he liked what she'd written and would have felt that way even without Ryan and Taylor's input. And their text messages are included in the lawsuit, and in one of the messages, Blake describes her husband and best friend with a Game of Thrones reference. She wrote, "I'm Khaleesi, and like her, I happen to have a few dragons. We all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine." Emails are also included in this lawsuit, and there is one from right before the filming began between Justin and Blake. And Justin claims that Blake expressed warm gratitude for all the work they'd done to prepare, but he also believes that was all facade, so she could wrestle away control from him. He also says that some of their earlier fights had to do with Lily, Blake's character's wardrobe. Blake wanted to look rich and hot, but he pointed out that she's playing a struggling floral shop owner. But get this, he claims that Blake did not even read the book when they were working on the script. Adding, she even tried to Google the color of her character's hair rather than pick up the book. Justin also talks about the January 2024 meeting between himself, Blake, Ryan, and several other cast and crew members. He says Blake came armed with a 17-point return to production demand. Justin described it as Blake unleashed Reynolds on Baldoni and Wafer. He claims that although he did give in to most of Blake's demands, she continued to threaten to torpedo the movie unless she got to cut her own version of the film. The lawsuit is seeking no less than $400 million in damages from Lively and Sloan. alone. Dude, so many lawsuits with Justin and Blake. Like, I'm pretty sure there'll be another one from Blake sometime today, maybe tomorrow, so stay tuned.